Yo, what up? It's your boy Owen JJ Stone, aka O Doctor. Welcome to another episode of IQMZ Tech. Normally we do this on Wednesday, but again on a Wednesday we had to shift and move. Happy Valentine's Day to you, and if you have somebody, happy Valentine's Day to them. Hug the husband and or wife for me. Ryan, is someone who found love, has a lovely family, and I had to give him the day off so he can go be with his wife. That's how you stay in line with the family. You know what I mean? So that way she can be happy and not be mad at me when I try to kidnap him in the middle of the night to do stupid tech shows and stuff like that. What's up, PC
Man,
Danger? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Hey, be honest. You took the day off too, so you could go see that terrible Marvel movie.
I tried to sleep my Valentine's Day away, and I had multiple ladies hit me up, and then one of them came and kidnapped me. So she paid, and I played, and it was bad. And my favorite thing about that is because as a guy, you go out on a date, you pay for the date, all that kind of stuff. And so she's like, "Oh, let me take you out," blah blah blah. I'm like, "Cool." So she took me out. She was hot about the movie. She hated the movie so much. She's like, "I can't believe I spent $30." And I just looked at her, I'm like, "Actually, you paid $55 because we got popcorn and soda and candy." And she's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Yeah, now you know how it feels when women ask men to go out to these bum rom-coms that they don't like. And they leave unhappy knowing that they just spent all that money on that trash movie for you. And neither one of us like this movie, you know what I mean?" And her mind was like, she saw the commercials, all the girls in it, which is going to reference to a story we're talking about later. But she saw the female actor and she's like, "Oh, let me go try and check this out and blah 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 because it's whatever." And it was bad. It was so bad. But I didn't pay for it, and if I did, I would ask for my money back.
Oh, I'm glad you got out of paying for that one, but I had high hopes. It had some of my favorite actresses in it,
And
and I
and
was really hoping.
And so I kind of tried to stay away from it because I heard so many negative and bad things about it. Dakota fired her agent after the first screening. So she saw it and was like, "Yo, bro, you got me this job with this script." But I'm like, "You read the script, you did the whole movie, and you didn't know in the midst of it that it was trash." And now she's like, "Oh, well, most of the time I was on a green screen, I couldn't even see the movie." You read it, didn't you? The writing was just so bad. Like, forget on the CGI. Like, I'm not even gonna. The CGI is fine. All the CGI stuff was totally fine. That wasn't the problem. The problem was the story, the actors, the actresses. It was just so bad. Right? I can't wait till it comes out on like VHS so you can watch it. Go down to your local blockbuster on a Friday night and bring it home for the family. I can't wait.
All right, so now I know Madam Web is a pass. It's
Yes,
definitely not worth spending money on.
yes,
All
yes.
right. Well, since we're talking about movies, motion video, and all of that, I have our first story. You ready for it?
Tell me all about it.
All right. Well, OpenAI has introduced Sora, its text to video AI model. You give it a prompt, you tell it what you want, and it pops out a video. Now, the videos that they're demonstrating this with look pretty good. They don't look real. I mean, there's no way a city street looks exactly like that, but they're good enough where it could fool some people. What do you think about this?
I saw this before you even put it in as just a story. I saw this and then I went to their page and looked at it. We're at the point now where it is getting so passable that if for nothing else, at the moment, you can go make somebody a good vision board. You can go get a good storyboard going on. If you have a story or a script or any kind of idea that you want, and you don't have a budget or a team, or you're just new and you just want to create, these things can pass for you. This lets you do camera angles. You could do dolly sweeps in. It does pass throughs. Like, it does a lot of interesting stuff. Like, if you scroll down on that and go look at the other video, like they have from like the little Tokyo scene, where you're scrolling through stuff right now. So yeah, it's just great. Like, if I wanted to do a mock-up and I had this, I could create something. I could get my vision across. I could get a budget together. I can get somebody to believe in me more so than just reading a story. Even though, like I told you before, the script is something that matters. The story actually matters. But this is a great tool, and this is only going to get better. You're right. It doesn't feel real. Like, it feels like a cartoon, and then depending on your style, you do or don't like that style. There's a lot of animations where I don't like the style of animation, so it kind of takes me out. Then there's other ones that are my favorite, but if the story doesn't line up, it's not good. But this is just great. I mean, kids are going to have a ball with this. And when I say kids, I mean when they grow up to be adults and they want to create something, they want to make something. Your social media already has a problem with. We're going to be talking about another story, but like I've seen these. My favorite thing is this girl makes $5 million a month, and she's using an AI bot of her voice and herself. And she's got somebody who's making content of her jumping and running around the beach. I don't even know what this girl actually looks like. It's just a model of her face, and then they've got her doing all kinds of stuff, in a bikini in Brazil, walking through the streets of New York City, and like that it's fake, but she's very attractive, very beautiful, and they do little voiceovers and they tell these little stories, and people are lonely, people want attention, and people pay for it. So with something like this, it's only going to get accelerated with how things are going to be. Like it reminds me of the new Blade Runner when Ryan Gosling's like standing out on a veranda and the advertisement looks at him and he's just standing there and not paying attention to it. And the advertisement's just like, like winking at him and interacting with him. This could be that where you just create things and it works with your atmosphere, it works with the surroundings. I think it's really cool. What do you think about it?
I think it's exciting from a storytelling standpoint. As somebody that likes to tell stories in interesting ways, and I don't have a Hollywood budget. Um, at the other hand, as somebody that once made a living making videos, and I know that you do as well, you make some amazing videos. Um, this is gonna take a bite out of the freelancer market, I think, and it's gonna sting a little bit, but people are gonna have to learn how to work around it.
So something that right now you and I haven't started because we're just getting some shows in the can and getting on a rhythm, but we're gonna start making some stuff with AI. And there's a couple of things I have listed out that I want to make so that we can make stuff together and make it easier. And then learning that it's I'm a creative, you're creative. We need to learn the new ways of doing that because there's also the thing of some people just are never going to want to do it, regardless if something does it for you. You know what I mean? I can't
Right.
tell you how many people just haven't even opened up Chat GBT. I'm like, well, uh, just open it up or open up another app that's like that. Most of them are paid apps. One day soon, we're going to just talk about some free apps that people could just jump into and get started on or started with. But I feel like you and I will just have to evolve and be ahead of the curve with prompt usage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because somebody can go in there and say, "Yeah, I want someone walking down the street in New York City holding a can." And you and I are going to have to be the ones to be like, "Look, I need someone walking down the street 5:45 on a day in August so the sun's high in the sky." Like, you know what I mean? Like just the things that you got to think about to create what you really want. You can't just say it. If you say you're going to get something basic, if you frame it right, you could get some amazing stuff. So you're right. It is going to eat up a lot of people's lunch. And at the same time, I feel like we're going to get to that point where it's like how people got about CGI. CGI reached its apex, and then it was like, well, let's go do the Hanson thing and bring back real puppets. Let's go get real animatronic animals and things like that to make it feel different. So there's always going to be that rise and fall of the use of technology and the mixture of the two.
Yeah, I remember how outraged people were when Yoda was CGI and then they brought the puppet back
Yeah.
and then they took the puppet away again. And but
Yeah.
we'll see where this goes. But that's not our only AI story. This one might be a little bit sad. I know we're in our post Valentine's Day, but if you turned to AI to fulfill your romantic needs on Valentine's Day, just keep in mind those bots that you're talking to. They may sound nice, they may say all the right things, but they are collecting data on you in a big way. Mozilla released a study that found basically that these things are just spying on you, and You need to stop telling your most intimate secrets to AI because somebody is on the other side collecting that data and will eventually profit off of it. What do you think about that?
So the biggest thing besides this, anybody watching this should just go watch her, or there's another movie too. I can't think about it. It's a comedy where the AI girlfriend goes crazy and ruins the guy's life because she has access to his phone and his credit cards and all that kind of stuff. And he gets a girlfriend to get jealous. That's going deep into the weeds. But at this point, if you have children, you need to talk to your children. I know that you think that your kids know what they're doing. They don't. um, AI is already in their life. It's already in their pocket. It's already in their hand. If you gave them a phone, things that you don't know about, Snapchat has an AI buddy that just wants to be your friend. Meta has an AI buddy on Instagram that just wants to be your friend. And yes, are they spying on you? Not really, because you're giving them the information. That's not spying. That's listening. If you're lonely or you're bored and you want to talk to your bot, and your bot gets better with time, what you talk about, your day, your friends, your habits, it's learning you. It's not spying on you. You're giving it everything it wants because you're lonely or you're bored. And so if you don't talk to your kids and tell them, hey, you got the app for the social media and you got friends, that's why you're on the app. Talk to John, not the bot. Talk to Susie, not the bot, because that bot is quote unquote spying because this is easier to say. But
Yeah.
these kids play with it and they don't know any better. I've talked to my daughter, she knows better. The first time it popped up, she was mad. She came to me, she's like, because she knows about technology, but she came to me, she's like, how do I turn this off? And I was like, what's this? And she's like, it's the AI friend from Snapchat, and it just keeps saying hi to me and wanting to talk to me. And I went and looked, and obviously she's a heavy user, so she got it before I did. And I was like, I don't see what is that. And I'm like, and I went and looked it up, and there the article I read. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, well, I don't like it because it keeps trying to talk to me. It's like I talked to her for like 5 minutes. It was creepy, and I was like, well, just don't talk to it, don't interact with it. And it took her like a good 10 days of not acknowledging it before it stopped just checking in, like, hey, how you been? Are you miss me? What's going on? And I'm like, yeah. But how many kids are out here just 2 o'clock in the morning, all their friends are sleeping, they want somebody to talk to because it feels real. Like the conversation feels legit. Like when you're on there and it's asking and you're talking, you think you're talking to Kim Kardashian or whatever on the Meta app or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like cool. It's got so much data to pull from shows and content and articles and interviews that it semi sounds like that, but really all it is farming your information. Like it wants to know you. Back in the day, I used to have to worry about hot Russian girls in my DMs and telling me how handsome I was, and I was like, wait, are you looking at me? Like, there can't be this many chubby chasers in my DMs today. Like something's going on. And then their birthday comes and they need a $60 cake and they want to test you to see if you send them $60 and then their car breaks down. My favorite thing to do is when they send you the pictures of them looking all hot and scandalous, I go like Google reverse image the image and then I come back and tell them where the picture came from. They're like, oh, no, no, no. Somebody stole my picture. But it's just a farm of people out there fishing. But this, you're giving your information to it. How do you feel about it? You trying to give your information out to people?
Well,
You got
I
you got
don't
AI
like
buddy?
giving my information out to anybody. Y'all don't even see my face in this podcast.
That's true.
I'm too pretty, you see. Owen said there's too much competition. But
That's
anyway,
right.
I did want to show you guys. I
You
have an
already
app
got a wife.
here.
You already got a woman.
I
That's
do,
right.
I do. I have an app here called Typing Mind, and this is an AI-based app built on GPT-4 Turbo. And with it, basically, you select a character and they become your AI friend. Like you can have a professional chef, a life coach, a software developer, a travel guide, and these characters that include some celebrities. For example, Selena Gomez. I could have a conversation with Selena Gomez or Mark Zuckerberg, and the AI takes on the persona of the person that you're selecting here, and you can just have a full-on conversation and they'll act as though they're that person, and you have no idea where what you're sending is going. You don't know who's on the other side reading this, uh, but I don't know, to the average consumer, this looks pretty good. This looks like something that, oh, this is fun. I'm gonna, have a lot of fun with this, but it's a little bit scarier than that when you look under the curtain.
And it doesn't look good. It feels good. So I was
It
thinking,
does.
we can go back to the old school and make a Ask O Doctor chatbot. When people used to send in questions and I used to answer questions, I got enough video out there. Just let this thing go train on my voice and my style, and then see how it answers questions. And then I'll mix in a parlay with it. Like, look, you never know if you're talking to me or the AI because I jump in there sometimes and be talking to people. So yeah, I mean, we got to get that cracking. It's free now. We can go out there and go make us a little app. You know what I mean? Ask O Doctor's
Yeah.
gonna be back. I'm gonna be chatting with the people.
You can train the app on the transcripts of this podcast,
That's right. That's
and
right.
it'll act just
It,
like you.
it's like I said, it's crazy because it can make you feel a certain way. I I brought up I said Russian because the last one that did it was from Russia. Because again, I'm tracking the images and when they send me random links and stuff like that. Like sometimes I was bored. So on some person would send me a link and they've got like 15 pictures up or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you never know, because sometimes you get people that are real people. But then once they start talking all sexual stuff like that, like out of the blue, I'm like, okay, you're fishing for money or whatever. And I get bored and I talk to them and I mess with them and just to find out how far I can get them to go before they make their request or whatever. But that's out of boredom for me. Some people are just really bored and they want to escape or they don't have somebody to talk to them. A lot of people talk at you, not a lot of people listen. And like I said, these things are listeners. They
Yeah,
love for you. If I said, "How's your day?" and you talked for fucking 3 hours, the bot would be happy. And the bot would just say, "Oh yeah, what else happened?" It would just all it does is try to keep you talking, which is very good for a narcissistic person or a lonely person because somebody wants to listen to me. So it's the way it makes you feel is really really creepy and scary going forward. Gotta watch
it
that stuff.
is. It is. When I was younger and single and I moved to a new city, didn't know a lot of people. I spent my life on Yahoo Chat.
Yeah,
I was always trying to reach
yeah,
out and talk to somebody, and to have
yeah,
somebody that not only listens but always agrees with you and
uh,
always compliments you and
yeah.
never argues, never has a problem with what you say. You can't trigger them. That is something that a lot of people are craving right now. There's kind of an epidemic of loneliness,
When you
and
say it like that, I might be single forever.
yeah.
I might not need anybody because if I could just have somebody agree with me all the time and tell me how good I look, man, you know what? I might get me a part-time girlfriend and just give her an AI chat. Be like, look, I know you're busy at work, girl. So I just talk to the AI while you're at work and I'll talk to you at home on the phone or something like that. Yeah, this might be okay for me. Don't pay attention to what I'm saying. We got what else we got going on out here? It's
we we
tricking
got a
people.
story. This is a positive story. All right. We've had the sad and the scary. Here's a positive one. Prosthetic limbs now, thanks to some research, according to Smithsonian Magazine here, can feel hot and cold through touch using a prosthetic limb. It's the first time that type of technology has been available. So amputees now especially dual amputees, that haven't been able to feel like an ice cube in their hand or feel, actual tactile feedback, are now able to get a sense of hot, cold, warm, cool, for the first time, and that is a great thing.
This kind of technology to me is just necessary and amazing and wonderful and crazy. Like CES just happened, and you see those things. Like I saw a wristband with an Apple Watch that allows you to use gestures and it'll control anything with Bluetooth. Like you can squeeze and tap, and you could turn on a light or turn the light up and down or the volume on something audio or whatever. And that's just going through that. So something like this being able like just imagine losing a sensation and then finally being able to get it back. It's incredible. I mean, I don't know how well this works. I don't know if how much is going to be how much it's going to cost because all those things as far as prosthetics are concerned is so expensive. But just the fact that they're doing that going to the future, like I look at this as one of those things that like, man, sky's the limit going forward, and the more they can do, the more they can create, the more they can provide for someone who has lost something, um, and especially for military members who are suffering, and just the way that it makes you. We're talking a lot about feelings when you get a prosthetic. Because I've talked to a friend who didn't want the fake leg, and then he finally got it, and he was mad at himself because he fought it for so long because he just didn't feel like I don't need that. I'm not going to do that. And then when he did it and he was walking on his own again, he's like, pride just got in my way because I knew that didn't have something that I had once before, and I was just
Yeah.
I was fine with being in a wheelchair. I didn't want to walk on it. I didn't want to have that happen to me. And so if you've lost like your sense of touch, feel, temperature, cold, like, and yes, you might feel it on other parts of your body, but have tactile feel, like, man, I have this hypothetical question, Ryan. Which would you rather lose, your hands or your feet?
My feet,
Your feet. Everyone,
like,
everyone I talk to says their feet because again, I can get prosthetics on, I can still walk, I can get around a wheelchair, but just to be able to grab, hold, touch, your hands are necessary. We're not apes, we're derived from them apparently, but we need our hands to do so many of the things that we want to do in the world. So to be able to hold something and feel the temperature, it's incredible. It's incredible. Like I said, I don't know how much it costs. I don't care how much it costs. I don't need it, but the fact that they're doing it just gives a hope for the future of things to come.
yeah, especially when I think about like the kitchen. When you're cooking, how often does temperature come into play when you're preparing food? Is this warm? Is it cool? Is it too hot for my kid? If you have a
Yeah.
baby, you're testing the milk, right? Well, what are you testing the milk on? And sometimes little things like that we take for granted. And if technology can get us a little bit closer to, I hate to say the cyberpunk utopia because it is nothing like a utopia the way the cyberpunk story is told. But if a prosthetic can get close enough to the real thing, then I think we as humanity are going in the right direction. I think we're doing a good thing here.
Well, you got a 3D printer, right? You're out there 3D printing the
I
world
I
up.
do. I have a 3D printer, and there are a lot of charitable organizations where you can donate your 3D printer time and print prosthetic parts for amputees and for children, especially in children's hospitals that their parents can't afford the fancy high tech, expensive prosthetics, but a 3D printer, you can actually create something that's very usable and will get you through, the hardest part of the transition.
Well,
And it's
now I
it's
feel
kind of
guilty. I
nice.
was about to ask you to 3D print me like a kidney or a heart or something in case I need a
I
backup.
I can't do that. I can't
Now,
do that.
but now
No.
your time's already adequated, so to something more noble.
See, yeah, because now I'm printing figurines and Star Wars figures and stuff. I don't have time to print you a heart.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you got the cheat code out here, like, back in my day, buy a toy, you had to work 3 hours. No, my dad prints all my toys at home, and I want a toy, I had to print one up.
I
Nerds.
I kid you not, there is nothing better than your kid comes in and says he wants a toy that he saw on TV, and I can look up on Thingiverse or one of those sites a 3D model of that toy, and I can print it, and in an hour I can hand it to him. And he's like, "Wow, you made that." I'm like, "Yes, I did, just for you."
Nerd. Nerd. You love your son too much. That's too much joy. This year, wait, how old is he now?
He is turning 7 in May.
Seven's the perfect age. This Christmas, don't get him anything for Christmas. This
I'm not.
Christmas, he wakes up on Christmas Day to no presents. And when he asks, "Where's my presents?" You what are you laughing at? When he asks,
Uh,
"Where's my present?" Don't even bring the wife in here. I'm gonna tell her because this needs to happen. He's living too good on the hog. Life is too good. He needs to not have any presents. Okay. You ever watch that Jimmy Kimmel thing at Christmas time where they
yes.
don't give the kids and they go crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up having everything and having nothing. I was living with my grandparents. We had money. Everything was fine. At one point, I lived with my dad. My dad got in a car accident. He got on drugs. We didn't have anything. And when we didn't have anything, guess what I did on those Christmases? There was like 2 or 3 of them. Um, we got up, we had breakfast, we played video games, and we went and saw other family members and that was it because he didn't have money to buy me a whole bunch of presents. And this is coming from before where I had so many presents I didn't even play with half of them. You know what I mean? Like the one year I got a bike and I don't remember anything else that I got because I didn't do anything else besides try to learn how to ride this bike. So there was nothing else that I got with all the stuff. I look back at the picture of all those things that I had. I'm like, what did I even? I don't even remember any of it, but I remember the bike because that's all I cared about. So one year for Christmas, Leah was 6. Um, and it was my Christmas because I'm not with her mother. It's my Christmas. We woke up. There's no presents under the tree. And I was like, so I don't have any presents for you. You're probably gonna get some presents when you go to your mom's later today. And I just don't have any presents. And I'm like, what do you want to do? She's like, well, can we make pancakes and bacon? I was like, yes, we can make pancakes and bacon. We make the pancakes and bacon. We're listening to Christmas music. And then she was like, can we play? We played um Sackboy together. We played Sackboy for like 2 hours. And she was like, oh, can I go to my friend's house? I'm like, sure. We go to our friend's house. And they have like 5 children and 2 are her age. And so they're playing with all the toys and opening up stuff or whatever. And I got those kids a present. And she took them their present and gave them their present. And they're all playing. And when they asked her, oh, what did you get for Christmas? She's like, oh, I didn't really even open up anything yet. It's not really a big deal. Christmas isn't about presents. Her say it twice out loud. I take her to her mom's in the afternoon. I drop her off. She calls me an hour later, cussing me out. How does she wake up on Christmas without any presents? She deserves magic and all. I mean, she laid into me, and I was like, and so what? Like, guess what? You don't go to church. You don't believe in the Lord like that, which I'm fine with. You know, we raised her either she can grow up and do whatever she wants to do. Like, we don't tell her that the Lord is bad or the Lord is good or which Lord to pick. You know what I mean? We go to Passovers. She's seen all the religions, so she can have her own choice. You know what I mean? If her husband wants something, she can pick her own thing. But I was like,
Yeah.
I thought Christmas was about family. You know, did Jesus show up and give out PlayStations? Like, I don't understand what the premise is you're going for here. Like, Leah's not upset. Did Leah complain? She's like, no. I just asked her what she got for Christmas, and she said she didn't get anything. I was like, okay, then. It'd be different if she came to you crying or yelling or whatever. She didn't. So then the next day, when I got her back, she had already had a cell phone. She had an Android phone since she was 4. She's had her own phone since she was 4. But then the next day, I gave her an iPhone, and she has a better iPhone, and she's had a better iPhone than her mom. Right now, she's got my iPhone 14 Pro Max. Her mom has an iPhone 12 Pro. Like, she's always had a better version of the iPhone since she was 6 than her mother does, because she always gets my last year's hand down.
Right.
And she's never broken a phone. She's never lost a phone. And she didn't complain. She didn't say a word because she knows the household value and what things mean. And it's not about the presents, and it's about our family. It's about our time. So you out here 3D printing anything that can be imagined makes me feel bad because I don't have anybody making toys for me. I didn't grow up with
Yeah.
anybody making toys for me. Right? Can you make me some toys? Just if I send you something, you just make me
Yeah.
something.
I might, and here's why. And I'm going to tell the audience this, and this is going to embarrass you. But he comes off like, oh, I don't care. I don't give out presents. Nah, 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 nah. Uh, my son got a very special present from Owen one year. It was a whole bunch of Hot Wheel cars. And he loved that gift. And he still, to this day, 4 years later, plays with them all the time.
I
And
I
so,
am a wonderful, horrible person, and you don't have to tell people that I do nice things for the kids. Now I got to tell them why. The reason Uncle Owen is out here, and everybody knows this with me. Oh, Doctor love the kids. Okay, I got so many nieces and nephews that at some point one of them is going to end up Bill Gates and or Bezosin, and I'm like, look, your uncle was there for you. I should remember when I showed up to that soccer game. You know what I mean? I only came to one, but hey, I got a lot of kids out here to go deal with. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah, I do care about the kids, and he's a great kid. Another thing too, before we just get to the next story, cracked me up the most is like you told me like how kids are. You're like, look, he's really shy. He doesn't, he takes a while to warm up to you, or whatever. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's how kids are. It's amazing how many people. This is your Uncle Owen. Like I haven't seen this person in my whole entire life. I'm 5 now. Where has he been if he's my uncle? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
stranger danger. But obviously, again, since I do love the kids and I'm around kids a lot, He took to me and my daughter very quickly. You're just like, this is insane. I
Yeah,
was like, because
because
I
he
walked in the door and I didn't get in his face. I ignored him, you know, and I let him come
yeah,
to me.
he didn't wanna eat with us, he didn't wanna be in the same room, he wanted to be in the living room just playing with
Yep,
his toys, minding his own business, and you came in and you asked him a question about what he was playing with, and instantly you were his best friend in the world,
that's how you got to
and
get them. That's how
that's
you got to get
something
them.
else. Yeah.
Last thing, pro tip for the families out there. Again, if your kid gets in the car, you're picking them up after school or whatever, and they don't talk to you because every parent says, "How's your day?" You put this expectation on a child to make you happy with something positive that happened, and kids get burnt out on that real quick. Not that people are always negative, but there's a reason why the news works. Instead of asking your kid, "What's the best part of your day?" Be like, "Yeah, who got in trouble today at school? Hey, did anybody get a star taken away? Oh, Johnny didn't get a star 'cause he was running around in the put." And they're not going to tell you somebody got murdered or anything, but they're going to tell you, somebody spilled milk in the class and everybody was running and somebody like ask them more provocative questions than just the lazy, "How was your day, Bobby? Tell me the best thing of your day." Because again, everybody gets burnt out on hearing the same thing every single day. But if you ask them what was the funniest thing that happened in the day, did anything weird happen? Did anybody say anything goofy? Like then the kid will open up to you. You gotta trick these people. Yeah, I mean, it works for the ladies too, by the way. Next story.
Next story here. There's a bunch of people that are coming home with some bad stories. People that work at Cisco, 4,000 of them were laid off. And Associated Press is saying this is a sign of the times, that it's tight times in tech. I don't know. Are we seeing a tech recession right now?
Well, we did open the story with a whole lot of AI stuff. And if I can get somebody to write copy, I might not need you. Coding? That sounds ridiculous. ChatGPT does coding for me for free. And I mean, guess what? It kind of gets pretty good. And then when it's bad, I just correct it. So maybe I don't need 14 engineers. Maybe I only need 10. And they're just overlooking this thing that we're using because we're implementing other things. And the corporate greed of America. They just want to have their bottom line look better. And if you're in an inflation, shrinkflation market, there's only so many times you can rob the customer and then keep paying. So what do? You cut down on people's jobs. I just had a conversation with the kid again, talking a lot about the kids today. But I mean, as far as her going to college, I want her to to be an engineer. She told me now she's like, I think I want to be a pharmaceutical. I was like, nah, bro. Like at this point, take a year off from school, learn different things. Like I want her to get a couple certifications. I don't really want her to learn how to code anymore because you don't need to learn how to code. AI is coding for you, but I want her to learn how to use the proper prompts. I want her to create her own personal brand. I want her to try and sell things because everything in the world is selling. I don't care what you think your job is, you're a salesperson. So with this, it just shows again, like, man, you can go and get a good job with a good company and do good work, and you're still just going to get laid off because a lot of those people, they weren't bottom of the barrel people. They're working at Cisco. You know what I mean? Like, I can only assume that, like, at least let's just say 50% of those people are hard working, knowledgeable people that are just losing their job. And where are they going to go when everybody's laying off people like this? Where are they going to go? So it's super crazy right now. What do you think?
I think because I work at a company that had a 20% layoff at the end of the year last year. You know, we've had a lot of layoff problems in the industry as a whole, and it sucks. It's terrible. As a worker, it means that you are a small fish in a big pool of people that are searching out for jobs right now. But 10 years from now, the people that were laid off today are going to found the companies that are going to be making billions tomorrow. And if you can find the right people and you can come together and you can create a company with a vision and an idea in mind, then more power to you. I think that there entrepreneurs out there are in good shape right now, with so many people out there looking for something to do. Um, but yeah, for the average worker, it's rough times. It's rough.
I do like that thought process because you're right. Hard times make something people. I forget what the thing is, but yeah, some
Hard
dominant
times make
coming to the store.
strong people make soft times make soft people, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, whatever it is, they're gonna be doing it. A lot of the things you said. The thing about I love about this, when somebody watches it later, somebody's gonna be like, "These idiots," and they're gonna know what exactly what we're talking about. But anyway, you got the vision of hindsight, listener, viewer, leadership. Uh, what else?
Well, GLAAD has put out a report showing that while 20% of all gamers in the United States self-identify as LGBTQ plus, only 2% of games contain characters and storylines relevant to that community. And this study actually took me by surprise, because I'm thinking about the biggest games out there right now: Baldur's Gate, Cyberpunk, Mass Effect, Final Fantasy, Fallout. I'm thinking about these huge titles, and almost all of them have LGBT characters in them. However, there are thousands of other games coming out every year, and the vast majority of them are storyline deserts for this community. Um, I don't know. Is the gaming industry as a whole in need of a little bit more LGBTQ friendly storylines?
So there, there's a part I wish I watched the video she put up there, and I can't remember which segment it was at. Um, but she's going through the numbers and she's saying how there aren't this many of that and that many of this. First of all, oh, and then she brought up the woke media thing, so, which was my point to the movie we talked about in the beginning of the show. So there is representation. And as a black guy, I say the same thing because I get mad that every black character has that Miles Morales half Bob Marley haircut where they got the dreads all to the side and the side shaved head. Every black character they make has that same haircut. It's like, come on, dude. Like, can we get something else? Or they got the classic afro. You know what I mean? Like, it's just certain representation feels a certain way to certain people in certain communities. And those people that are in gaming and love gaming feel like I'm not represented enough. And then you have the other people who say, well, they're too represented. The thing is when you are represented, two things have to happen. One, it has to be quality. Two, it has to be amazingly high quality for the other people not to have a problem with it. I'll give you a case in point of a personal case study in just a moment. The video game The Last of Us came out with a live action show on HBO. And there's an episode, not to spoiler alert, but you're in the apocalypse world, and one guy finds another guy, stumbles on his property and land, and he gives the guy a chance to get a shower and get a meal, and he's like, "You got to go." They spent a whole episode developing what ended up being a love story between these two men. They had a sex scene, they kissed a lot, all the stuff. But the way they built it up into that did not have the majority of people watching the show bash it and say, "Oh, they're shoving it down our throats," and all the things that people say. Because the angry mob is just really loud. I'm not saying that the angry mob is even 50% of the community or something like that, but they're the most vocal. You know what I mean? But when you do it so good and so well, like people were writing that they were crying about that love story and how impactful it was, just thinking about being alone. And when the way it turned out, I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but the writing was so amazing, the story was told so well that it doesn't matter that it was two men, it mattered that it was two people in love. So when you get games or you get things and you're like, well, this person's just gay to be gay and they don't give it any substance, it's like, okay, so now you're just throwing in stupid one-liners to make you understand that this person is the way it is, or it's ambiguous and you don't give any backing to it. So the numbers and the percentages, I'm listening to in this story and I'm like, 2% of games contain characters and storylines. I'm like, I don't know. um are they supported well when they are in the 2%? Because that's the problem with the WNBA. Everybody says, "Oh, nobody watches WNBA." Women don't watch the WNBA. And that's a whole nother thing where people are going to get mad about. But if you watch it, you'll make more money. You'll get more eyeballs on it. That college girl, Caitlin, whatever. I don't really know her because I don't follow college like that. But her games are now out of control. Like the cheapest ticket to get into one of those games for Iowa State or whatever is like $400, when 2 years ago it was like $6. But she's created a fan base, a marketability, something that you want to see, that is must see TV, and people are going out to see it. They're showing up for it. They're selling out. So when you create video game storylines that are epic and amazing and well done, I feel like that community is going to feel better represented, and the people that are playing it aren't going to have that much of an issue with it. And the last thing I'll say is that as a regular consumer of video games and content, I feel like it's much harder to service that community. There's not enough women in games. Okay. There's not enough people of color in games. Okay. There's not enough LGBTQ plus, and I don't know if there's anything after that. So no, I'm not trying to insult anybody or anything. But that's a lot. So is it like, oh, well, we got the LG in here, we got the BT in here, we got a Q, we got a plus, and then you're sitting there saying, well, there's not enough of, well, it's a broad scope. So how do you feel that you're going to get all that? You know, because you're not going to get it all in one game per se, or one storyline per se.
Right.
I know I just rambled all over the place with that, but it's such a it's such a hard thing to talk about and deal with. So yeah.
I have to agree. When the story is told well, it makes all the difference in the world. Like you look at Mass Effect, one of the biggest trilogies in gaming history, had LGBTQ characters, and their love story was told so well.
Yes.
And it made people feel for it. It made people fall in love with the characters themselves. It was a big thing. Baldur's Gate, LGBTQ characters. You can even play a trans person in Baldur's Gate. That's not something that you saw 10 years ago, but now you got Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate both allowing you to do that. Those games, they told their stories well, and they were super successful for it. So don't tell me go woke, go broke. It doesn't matter as long as the story is good. I will say this though, and I'm going to throw this out there. Star Wars, I'm mad at you. Every time there's a bald person in Star Wars, they're either a Sith Lord or they die. And I don't like that. So stop doing that. Stop cutting the hands off of bald people. Stop making them evil. Okay. Bald
It
people need love too.
we do it is funny. And the thing that kills me most about Mass Effect is that there was that the go woke broke mad bros on YouTube. They tried to bash Mass Effect and
Mhm.
it didn't work. They had to stop because there is a business of trouncing things, right? Like if I honestly, the reason I'm not rich is because I hate clickbait stuff. But if I wanted to just trash AI every day, I could create a huge fan base from that. If I just wanted to say I loved or hated Donald Trump, if I just picked a side and just beat the drum on one thing, you're going to get an audience. And there's people out there that beat the drum of, I hate everything and every movie sucks now and all the things are, and there's people that love that. But with Mass Effect, when they try to do that, people are like, nah, bro. Like, shut up. Like, no. Like they those videos went away very quickly, and there weren't any additional videos about that content because the content was so good, because the story was so good. And it's like, bro, we're not. I'm so when you get so deep into it that you don't even think about that, that's when you know that you have something. Um, so yeah, it's I see those numbers and I'm thinking like, man, it sounds so low. It sounds so bad, but maybe also the type of games that I play that I pick, I've seen the representation. So I don't know. It's a weird thing to do. Hopefully we don't get canceled on our third episode back, and I didn't say anything too wild and outlandish.
um, well, speaking of canceled, I'm doing really good segues today.
Yeah,
Gosh.
you're killing it. You're killing
Speaking of canceled, Mark Zuckerberg tried to cancel the Apple Vision Pro with his own video on Meta, or what was this, Instagram? Yeah, he did an Instagram video basically saying that the Quest 3, which costs a fraction of the price of the Apple Vision Pro is a better product, period. He went through all kinds. He said our hand tracking is
Hey,
better.
hey, hey,
The
hey.
the
Uh,
pass through is better.
You
Everything
you
but
don't
the
you ain't got the paraphrase, brother. We got the live action video. Go ahead, hit that thing full screen, and let's hear. Let's see if he can convince us in 2 minutes and 30 seconds that we
oh,
too need it.
All right, guys. So I finally tried Apple's Vision Pro. And, I have to say that before this, I expected that Quest would be the better value for most people since it's really good and it's like 7 times less expensive. But after using it, I don't just think that Quest is the better value. I think that Quest is the better product, period. And, the different companies made different design decisions for the headsets. They have different strengths. But overall, Quest is better for the vast majority of things that people use mixed reality for. Now, my friend Kenny is actually capturing this video on Quest's high-resolution mixed reality pass-through right now. We're just here in my living room, and you can see his browser windows and whatever else he's got running up here. So yeah, Quest 3 does high-quality pass-through with big screens, just like Vision Pro. But we also designed it to be great for a lot of other things, moving around, playing games, hanging out with friends and socializing, working out, and more. Quest, I think is just a lot more comfortable. We designed it to weigh 120 grams less, which makes a really big difference on your face. There's no wires that get in the way when you move around. It's a big deal. Our field of view is wider, and I found our screen to be brighter also. I also noticed that Apple's headset has this motion blur as you move around, which Quest is just a lot crisper. Now, Apple's screen does have a higher resolution, and that's really nice. But I was surprised by how many trade-offs they had to make to the quality of the device and the comfort and ergonomics and other aspects of the display and artifacts in order to get to that. Now, for input, Quest supports precision controllers that are great for games. Both headsets support hand tracking, but I found ours to be a little more accurate. Apple's eye tracking is really nice. We actually had those sensors back in Quest Pro. We took them out for Quest 3, and we're going to bring them back in the future. It's a nice interface. It's not perfect for everything, though. For typing or complex tasks, you're going to want things like hands or a keyboard or controllers or eventually a neural interface for those kind of inputs. Quest's immersive content library is a lot deeper. We've been working with studios building virtual and mixed reality games and other content for a long time now. And if you want to watch YouTube or play Xbox on a big screen anywhere you go, that's only available on Quest for now. So, when I look around, it seems like there are a lot of people who just assumed that Vision Pro would be higher quality because it's Apple and it costs $3,000 more. But, honestly, I'm pretty surprised that Quest is so much better for the vast majority of things that people use these headsets for with that price differential. Now, look, I know that some fanboys get upset whenever anyone dares to question if Apple's going to be the leader in a new category. But the reality is that every generation of computing has an open and a closed model. And yeah, in mobile, Apple's closed model won. But it's not always that way. If you go back to the PC era, Microsoft's open model was the winner. And in this next generation, Meta is going to be the open model, and I really want to make sure that the open model wins out again. The future is not yet written. So, I want to take a moment to just thank everyone who's been building with us for more than a decade. That goes for both Quest and the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which are doing way better than I even hoped that they would. As the old saying goes, the best way to predict the future is to invent it. So I'll see you all out there.
He goes on to say what you just heard because I'm going to. You know what? I know that your new husband is 6'4", has an 8-pack, could run a mile, works on cars, has 3 companies, and he's got a big house. But, I'm shift manager at McDonald's and I get the job done. I employ a lot of people. I make fries. And I don't have a pack so much as a mini fridge, but I'm doing the best I can, and I'm here and people should love me. I'm affordable. Not everybody can attain this new husband that you got. That's pretty much what he's going on to say, pointing out all the things he does better. And it's like, He's right, because what you said when we first started talking about it was affordability and the hand textile things. It's just funny to watch him do it and say it. It's like, bro, we know what you're gonna say. I saw the video before I even clicked on it. I knew exactly what he was gonna say, and he said everything. Matter of fact, he didn't go far enough as far as what I thought he could have said, and to hammer the point across. But it's like, we don't care what your opinion is. Your opinion is about your product, and you should sell your product. And you had done a good job. You sold a lot of units. Keep selling units. Keep innovating. Keep creating things that help people with your product. They have a product for that that helps with batting. And so if your kids play softball or baseball, you can play in different parks, you can get different pitchers, high school level pitchers, like fast pitch for softball, and your kid could like go against sinkers and curveballs and stuff like that. And I put that on, I played that. Leah is too much of a real world person. My fat butt has to get out there, and I got to like a pitching machine because I got to throw real balls. But I did have other friends that bought it, and their kids love it because in the wintertime, they're just in the house, hitting dingers. You know what I mean? Just hitting, swinging. And the way the thing works with a real bat, you get the weight of the bat, so you're used to swinging. There's stuff that happens with the basketball that you could dribble. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that unit has and provides people with at an affordable price. Stay in your lane, and, you're a robot, bro. Your job is not to sell anything to anybody. Anytime you speak, you turn everyone off. Like, not for nothing. Talk about a deboner and a dry desert maker. You are it. Like, I'm sorry. This man, when he speaks, I feel like I'd rather have Data from Star Trek talk to me. He's more human and believable than Mark Zuckerberg saying anything out loud to the human public. Did you buy it? What he was saying? Did you fall for it? Did you agree?
I agreed with what he was saying on a lot of points, and that was all stuff that I thought going into it. Just like you, I could have written his script for him.
Yeah,
because it was exactly what we've been pointing out from the beginning. Is you're not going to spend $3,500 on something that is a beta unit, basically. It's the first version of something. Never buy the first version of anything from any company, especially Apple. And yeah, I mean, early adopters are getting a kick out of it, but you know what they're also doing? And this goes to our last story. They're returning their Apple Vision Pros, and they're doing it because according to the consumers that are returning it, they're uncomfortable, they're heavy, and they may actually cause eye problems, including a product manager from The Verge saying that it may have burst their blood vessel in their eye. So yeah, it doesn't sound like the Apple Vision Pro is perfect by any means.
To the 430 people still on auto downloaded this show, which I'm shocked at, and I appreciate you and love you for sticking around. You not take huge hiatuses. I did get a text message on my text line, which I'm changing up too. But this person was like, I can't believe how negative you were about the blah, 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 blah. Look, that's my opinion. I said I spent $10,000 to get glasses off my face. They weren't that heavy, but I lived my whole life with them on. But to get them off was like an elephant lifted off my back. Best thing I ever spent my money on. So for me to put these goggles on and start trying to live through these goggles seems absolutely insane. And again, unless you're a YouTuber, iJustine, tech person, reviewer, or someone who's just trying to go viral, no one is buying these things to use them. You're buying them so that you could go on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and make videos to talk about having it. You're driving around in a Cybertruck for views. I get it. Hey, you know what I mean? Not all of us can start an OnlyFans. Some of us got to do it the old-fashioned way and use technology. I get it. But I tried to tell you, you walking around with a ski mask on or ski goggles on all day, your face starts sweating, your head starts dipping, you got batteries all around your brain. It's bad enough you hold your phone up to your head all the dang time, but now you just got a whole power pack adjusted to your body, and hooked on your butt cheeks. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, they say let the sunshine in. Let the radiation. Let the radiation. So yeah, they're returning that. We said that too. We said there's a 14-day return policy. How many people are going to return these days? And what are they doing? And if I popped a blood vessel in my eyes, these $10,000 eyes, oh, Tim Cook gonna get roasted. I tell you that right now. I ain't gonna cook him. I'm gonna slow pan roast his ass because I'm gonna be upset. And on top of the fact that I'm overweight, my head's already heavy. You think I got enough time to put 4 more pounds on my face? Shut up. Stop it. Ha ha. I apologize.
I bet you anything. A lot of people out there were married and their spouse, significant other, what have you, got the credit card bill. And they say, what is this $4,000 you just spent? And they go, I got these snow goggles and they're great because there's like 4 apps on them and those apps are okay. But it does get kind of sweaty and I get a headache after 10 minutes, but it's the latest thing. I guarantee it would have been like, you are out of this house if you don't return those to Apple right away. That's 100% what happened.
Not only that, your spouse got mad at the credit card bill. Now, first of all, you on your phone doom scrolling all the time, not paying attention to me. But then you want to be doom scrolling like this? You ain't touched me as much as you've been touching this air the last 2 days. You're gonna have to return that. You out here flicking all this stuff. You need to be flicking on me. When'd you learn that pinch move? You ain't been pinching nothing in 2 years, but you all out here like this. Like you need to start translating back to me. Oh no. This Apple ain't getting all my feels and stuff like that. You just out here in the air just doing all this and that. And if Apple really wants this thing to take off, especially in their second version, they have to get porn involved. Just in case anybody doesn't know about technology, in the last like 10, 15 years, porn has advanced everything you think about technology. They got us in the MP4s. They got us from Flash. Porn was like, look, we're not doing Flash anymore. The whole internet broke and fixed it. They're like, look, whoa. They're not doing Flash. Ain't no more Flash. They killed something Adobe birthed and just said no more. You know, VR. Oh, porn got VR. Oh, they were the first ones. Oh, we could get 3D. Man, they got so many porn things on there just looking all crooked because you ain't got the goggles. Hey, look, they want Apple to take off. They better find something for that. I mean, that pinching and twitching stuff. You know what I'm saying? They better get it together.
Porn killed the Betamax. Porn killed HD DVD. Porn killed the weird, what is it, George Lucas CD thing that was like 8 times too big for anybody. Porn can make or break a technology. And if the Apple Vision Pro does what Apple likes to do and take adult stuff off of it and not let you have the adult applications, then it's going to die. And it's going to die a horrible death. You're absolutely right. 100%.
And not only that, I'll tell you what, I'm going to just say this and I'm going to get off the porn thing until we have to bring it up another time for usage. I don't do enough research. I've done some research, but I can tell you this. Anybody who's ever watched porn on a mobile device or a computer, you have never, ever, ever had video lag, ever. You can watch YouTube, Netflix, HBO Max, Showtime, CBS, YouTube TV shut down on the goddamn Super Bowl 2 years in a row. And so did Paramount Plus. Can't get the biggest things in the world right. But I know one thing for sure. Some things get buffed and buffering, but it ain't in my porn videos. I ain't never once in my life seen nothing spin. You hit the button and you in. It just from start to beginning. Fast forward, scrub a dub. Hey, you like something? Hit that back button. It's gonna flip on you. Quick and easy. Their codex is beyond belief. They're living in the mammy jammy matrix. So like I said, Apple, if you want to succeed and go in the future, you better find me one of them so I can turn them radio dials and, you know what I mean, get some stuff going in case you want people to survive and really buy that thing on the consumer level. Is that it, Ryan?
That's about it.
That's
Yeah.
about it.
I'm not sure how we're going to monetize this one, but
Yeah, I mean,
go for it.
I'm gonna clip this part out. This is the clip I'm putting up. This is the first clip I'm putting up because it's the truth. It's the mammy jammy truth. You can check Ryan out on the Twitters and on the internet, PC Gazer, and I'm a doctor on things. If you're, like I said, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, go subscribe on YouTube for your boys, and we'd appreciate that. And if you are one of the people that have been listening on Spotify or iTunes, go ahead and leave us a review. You don't have to leave 5 stars, but I mean, I would suggest that you leave 5 stars. I mean, if you're watching the video, you can see why my suggestion will be the way that it is. If you're not, I'm just saying, just go ahead and leave a couple stars. Leave you guys a review. Tell us how we're doing. Say hi in the comments if you feel like it, and have a great day. Next week, we're back on Wednesday, and I got to find us a guest, Ryan, because they're going to try and have a guest every other week. So I got to get working on that. And we're out.